What up? What up? Today is Friday, May 27th, 8 p.m. And we're going to do our weekly portfolio wrap up. And I'm doing this video, even though I'm doing it live, I'm doing it for the playback. So not really concerned about the live viewers right now, just more on the playback. So, but I will wait like 5 minutes to get started. I won't just jump into it. You know, it's a Friday night. People got their plans. Kind of don't want to be doing this right now. I get it. What up, Jose? Anybody watching this game? It looks like it's finally a good game in this series. Tied up Miami and Boston. Gotta get some eats in my body, man. All right. All right, what's going on? That's Jose in here, Mahulani. I'm up on Sins. What'd you do with Sins, Mahu? Who wants to join me on this broadcast? I will send a link. Here's what I'll do. I would just put the link in the chat if you want to join in. Mahu, when did you buy Sins? At what price? And what made you buy it? Whew, man, I just got through eating. That little workout was I don't know, it's kind of exhausting. That was my third time working out this week, so I'm kind of trying to ramp it up some. Mahu, you know you can join in and tell me about Sins and tell everybody about Sins, right? The link is in the chat, but I'm gonna give it a minute, see if anybody else is gonna join in. They can always watch the replay to catch up. So yeah, this was a decent week in the stock market. I think it was the first week in like this whole year, not the whole year, but in a couple of months or so that the market had a pretty good week. You bought 1,000 shares last week at $1.10. Okay, Mahu. Let me see what we are in. Let me pull up our portfolio and see what we are in at the group portfolio. Sins. Oh, that's not showing. I gotta hold tight. That's not showing. Let me grab Sins real fast. Do a screenshot so I can show you guys what the group is in on Sins. Learning how to work this. Where you at? Screenshot. Sins. There you go. All right, here we at with Sins. I got to get your comment down from there. Hold tight. Watching this. So here we at with Sins. We got it at, dang, you actually got a better price than us. Actually, because we buy every day. So our average price is $1.12, $1.12, and Sins is at $1.16 right now. Looks like we're up 55 cents, up and 3.65% overall on sends. How do I get you out of there? Sends. Apple, where are you at? Oh, here we go. Hide. Hold on, y'all. Let me respond back to Lindsay Does It. All right, y'all. Hopefully Miami wins this game so they can go to a game 7 in Miami. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a portfolio update. So I'm going to say we started last Friday. And from last Friday, this is the portfolio from last Friday where we were at $104.55. So as of last Friday, we were down 1.39%. As of last Friday, we were down 1.39%. So as of today, a week later, we are up 1.76%. So we gained like maybe close to 4% this week. We're at $134.78. So from 104 to 134. But you got to remember, $25 of that is what we added. So we add $25 each week. So in that 134, like I think $5, probably got a little bit over $5, which is capital gains, profit, or whatever you want to call it. So we've gained $5 from capital gains and $25 from our own investment. Now in the how do I get off of here? Always in the beginning, when you first start out, and the majority of your money is going to come from your investing your own money. You're not going to see $100 go to $200 from capital gains. And what I mean by capital gains, I mean by the stock going up, because you only have $100 in it. So in the beginning, the majority will come from your actual deposits. So out of the, let's say it should be at, we're doing $25 each week. We're at 134. In like 3 more weeks, we should be at $200. Of that $200, I'm going to say 90% of that will be your own money. At least 90 to 95% of that should be your own money. And then the 5% or whatever will be from capital gains, will be from the stock prices going up. Now, I'm watching this game too, y'all. As our portfolio grows, as it gets bigger and bigger, once we get to $500,000 mark, then you'll start seeing the returns coming from actual capital gains. It's like if you take 10% of $100, you're going to have $10. But if you take 10% of $1,000, you're going to have $100. You take 10% of $10,000, it's going to be $1,000. So it's mainly about patience, and just over time, you have to be patient. because as you can see with the numbers, I'm watching this game and talking to you guys at the same time. As you can see with the numbers, obviously, the more money you have, the bigger the capital gains are going to be. Give me a sec, y'all. I want to see this. I want to make sure I'm saying what I'm saying. But oh, he hit that! Wow. I don't know if you guys are watching this game. Jimmy Butler just hit a big ass shot. So I can't do this while this game's on. Y'all gonna have to give me a sec, please. What's Jose saying? Try bigger the number with a smaller percentage makes a difference. Who I almost ended the broadcast hitting the wrong button. Comments. I'm still learning how to work this. Right, Jose. Give me a second. This game has like 40 seconds left in it. Plus, I want to grab me something to drink. You guys, make sure you this is gonna be real quick. Lindsay and Lindsay and Sunshine will be streaming from Resorts World tonight. So I'm definitely gonna I gotta keep this real short, and I gotta get her some stuff she needs. Hold on. All right. All right, y'all. Laura R in the building. Give me a sec. I had to text Lindsay something. How the hell does that happen? People unsubscribed. How do we go from 4,000 subscribers down to 3,990? How does that work? People unsubscribed. YouTube's been tripping lately, though. All right, let me get back on point, man. What up, Sacktown? It's gonna be wild with Lindsay and Sunshine. Yeah, it should be. If Sunshine don't fall asleep. Let me get back to my point, y'all. I wanted to go over something in particular, but every time I always have a plan, but my plan gets interrupted. I want to show you guys. I wish I could just show everything that's on my screen, but it won't let me do that. I'm watching this game too. Y'all, it's got like 15 seconds left. Just, you missed it. All right, give me ass bid. Market order type. We don't want market order. Invest in dollars, shares. Doesn't give you the ass bid. All right, I gotta go to my other account then. It's got like 10 seconds left, y'all. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, Jose. I know it was at 4,005 yesterday, but now it says 3,990 unless 16 people or whatever just said 14 people said I'm gonna unsubscribe all of a sudden. But come on, let's get this game over with. All right, let me go over this basic thing. Let me get this in here, this ask bid in here. I want to explain you guys what an ask and a bid means. I want to go over something every week with you guys, something new. So I'm about to get this in here. Just hold tight. If I can find my learning the basics, ask bid, Redub and Isabel. What is Vivian talking about? All right. We're going to go over some basic stuff real fast. So, learning the basics, there's an ask and a bid price. And I'm going to read you exactly what the Google definition is asset prices are sometimes given in a bid ask format. The bid represents the highest price a buyer is willing to offer. A bid represents the highest price a buyer is willing to offer and pay for an asset. The ask is the lowest price a seller is willing to accept. So basically, when you go to buy a stock, there's an ask price. You'll see an ask and you'll see a bid. And I wish I could show my screen, but I can't. So it's kind of like being at an auction a little bit. So the ask is basically, if I own the stock, this is the price I'm asking for. Like, let's just say, and there's a bunch, it's a bunch of people doing this. So they'll take the lowest ask price. So you'll see, if I'm trying to sell Apple, let's say it's $100. You see the ask. I'm asking $100 for this stock, but then you'll see somebody offering maybe $99 for the stock. So it may sit there for a while, which it really won't because there's so many people doing this. But what happens is somebody's saying I'll pay 99 and somebody's saying no, I'll release it for 100, no less than 100. What happens is you'll have somebody else come in and say, fuck it, I'll sell it for $99. And that's what drives the price down. So you'll see, if you ever wonder why prices go up and prices go down, it's because somebody is willing to sell it for a lower price. And then if you see prices go up, there's no one willing to sell it for that lower price. So the person that's selling it for 100, there's no one else saying I'm going to sell it under 100. So now you'll see the price go to 100, and then you'll see people saying, oh, I'm going to sell mine for 105 or 106 based on, maybe some news that came out or whatever. And that's why you see the price go up or down, because it has to be somebody on the other side willing to sell it at that price. So what makes a stock go down is some bad numbers or some bad news will come out. And let's just say, I'm going to use Apple as an example. Let's just say you found out that Apple iPhones, they were catching fire or whatever. And now this hit the public. So now everybody that owns Apple stock, they're trying to get out of that stock. So the price was at 100. Now you have somebody willing to say, shit, I'll sell my shares for $90. And then you got the kind of domino effect. Everybody's trying to get out of that stock. And that's when you see a price drop dramatically, because now you have somebody willing to sell it for 90 bucks, and you have somebody on the other side willing to buy it for $90. And then you got people just saying, shit, let me get out of this. If it's already down to 90, you get the domino effect. Somebody's willing to sell for 85. It goes down, down, down. And that's how basically the stock market works. It's just passing on shares to another person. We're just buying and selling shares. And it's all computerized because it's millions of people trading every day while the stock market's open. And there's a I'm gonna get better organized. Trust me, I'm gonna take this weekend to get organized. But I want to show you guys where there's a stock, it'll say trading volume. And you'll have something like Apple, it's always trading millions of shares each day. Apple's a popular stock. So you'll see where they're trading like 35 million shares a day. And then you'll see some of your non-popular stocks, they may trade 100,000 shares a day. And I don't want to get too far ahead, but if you're like day trading or you're trading short term or weekly, you always want to pick stocks that have high volume in trades. Because if you have a stock that a lot of people aren't trading back and forth, you can get stuck in that stock. For instance, I think I bought a stock and I wasn't looking at the volume, how many shares it was trading each day. It was like a penny stock. It was barely like average, maybe 100 trades per day, if that. I didn't even look at it. I was such a rookie. And I bought it. And then when it was time to sell that stock, I couldn't sell because there was no one on the other end willing to buy. And I never looked at the volume. And then when I was like, why isn't this selling? And I even tried to sell it at the price it was listed at. And I was wondering why it wasn't selling, and I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. But then I figured it out. No one's on the other end willing to buy. So you always want to look at the volume when buying a stock. How often is it traded per day? And, if it's traded a lot, it means it's a pretty popular stock. And it's easy to get in and out of. All right, Miami won. Okay, I have to take a drink of this. But you guys, I'm kind of all over the place because I don't have, let me just answer some questions. You think you bought a stock. What are you talking about, Dodger fan? Barbara says stopping by to say hello. Jose says if previous subs in the past don't watch for a certain time, they take them away. Didn't know that. All right. Does anybody have any questions right now? Because like I said, I'm kind of all over the place right now. And I want to kind of have each week a different, like start from beginning to end. I tried to screen record this video, but for some reason, I couldn't record it. It was like it was copywritten on Netflix, but I recorded it maybe 6 months ago, but now it won't let me record. I think Apple is doing something where it won't let you screen record stuff now if it's copywritten. Do you think there will be a recession soon? I think we kind of was in a mini recession kind of a couple months ago, to be honest. That's hard to say, Mahu. That's, you know what? That's really hard to say. Will we be in a recession soon? That's a tough question for me to answer. I'm gonna have to do a little digging and see what these feds are doing with the rates and all that type of stuff. Personally, I don't think we should hit a recession just because we've been through it before and we should know, the government's greedy as hell. It's like we've been through this stuff before. So we should know what to do and what not to do to avoid a recession. You know what I mean? It's like with the housing market. When we had the housing market crash in 2008, we kind of knew what happened. So now we have regulations to stop that from happening again. We should. There was regulations. I don't know if when Trump came in, he took them off or whatever. But we should know how to avoid a recession. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when we had COVID. We knew we needed to help these businesses and dole out money. We did what we had to do to keep the country from folding. We gave out money. Not we, but the government gave out money. We're paying for that right now. You know, lowered the interest rates and all that. We're paying for that right now. That's why we have all this inflation and everything going on. Gas prices high, a little bit due to the war over in Russia and stuff like that. But I can't call that. I want to say we shouldn't. We should know better, but America, government, they just get greedy and do dumb shit. I mean, if you guys actually knew what was behind the housing crash, it was just a bunch of greedy banks, period. Greedy banks behind the housing crash. And it was all about money, period. It would make you sick just to know how all that happened. But it was just greedy people that ran the banks, basically. You started your story about not being able to sell your shares, and you said, "I think I bought a stock." Yeah. So there's a phrase to a story, not real life. Just a Dodger fan. Yeah, me being a rookie, not knowing it was actually a penny stock, not looking at the volume, the trading volume. And it was, like I said, it was rarely any trading volume. And I got stuck in that stock. Like, if I bought the stock for a penny and the listed price that day was a penny, I couldn't even get out at a penny because there was no one on the other side willing to buy that stock. And that takes me to another story. Don't believe everything you see with your eyes. So for instance, I bought a penny stock and it was kind of like, you know what? I think I put $500 in it. And I never put anything in a penny stock that I can't afford to lose. So I put $500 into, like, this stock was like 0.000. It was fractions of a penny. I think I ended up getting like 1 million shares or something. It was crazy for like $500. So my thinking was it was gambling, of course, because the price of the stock, I mean, that stock could evaporate real fast because it wasn't even a penny yet. So anyway, bought like 1 million shares. But my thing was, you know, companies got to start somewhere. Maybe this one will hit. And the stock actually kept going up. I'm telling you, when I say I took $500 within about a month, $500 turned into the value of like maybe $15,000, like for real. And I got documentation of this. So me, I wouldn't say being greedy, but just saying, you know what? I'm not going to even sell. I'm just going to let it ride, because I'm thinking if it did that in a month, if I just let it ride for a year, this may be the next Amazon or Tesla or whatever. This fraction of a cost of a stock, if this stock ended up being $10 3 years later, I just made like 20 million off $500, period. This is my thinking, because I'm thinking I only put $500 in, so whatever. But I was up damn near $14,000, which I should have took some off the table. Me now would have took some off the table. So this is me believing the hype. The stock kept going up, 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 up. So I'm believing the hype, thinking the stock's going to keep going up. It hasn't even hit a cent yet. Come to find out, they halt trading on the stock. I'm like, why would they halt trading on the stock? And this is me being a rookie. That stock was being manipulated. So you had, let's say me and everybody in this group got together and said, hey, let's all buy this stock and run it up. And so what happened was, there was a group of people running this stock up because it was so cheap, you could easily run it up. And I didn't know that. Other people didn't know that. Other people are jumping on the bandwagon. Damn, this stock went from this to that. It must be a good company. We're thinking it's a good company. Somebody knows something, the stock price is going up. Not the case. So I didn't sell because I'm thinking, hey, shit, I could be a millionaire, or I could make $1 million or so off this $500. So I didn't sell. So they halt the stock. Here comes the news out. Stock is being manipulated. So guess what happens after that comes out? Stock drops right back where it started from. So that $500 that turned into $15,000 went back down to $500. I'm a little sick. You're always, after the fact, hindsight or whatever you want to say. But I didn't lose anything. But I look at it, well, I could have had an extra $15,000 or $14,000. So my lesson learned then was don't believe everything you see. Do some research, because there was no news or no reason while this company's stock was going up other than it being manipulated. And it's easy to manipulate a stock that's under $1 because it's so cheap. You can buy 1 million shares for $300. So when you see all these shares trading, it's like, wow, it could actually be 3 people just doing it. You see what I'm saying? But not paying attention to all that. So that was, don't get caught up into the hype of stuff. You got to okay, you got to kind of find out, why is this going up? You want to know, you know what I mean? You don't want to just, oop, it's going up. Something good must be happening. It could be that the stock is being manipulated, especially if it's a penny stock. And yeah, so I should have easily sold once I hit like $5,000, I should have took at least $4,500 off the table and just let the original 500 ride. Mahu, she says, how high do you think sins will go up? Well, if you look at it, sins hit $5. I want to say earlier last year. Let me see. Let me make sure I got my numbers right. Sins 1 year, 2 years, $4. Sins hit $4.58 last year, Mahu. Me personally, I'm long-term on sins. I'm like at least 5 years hold on that. And with it being $1 right now, personally, I think it could hit $100 in 5 years. That's if, market is going cool. Everything's kind of falling into place. The only reason I say that, I don't know if you heard my last spiel on a diabetes stock I bought at like $5. And I want to say in 2.5 years, tandem diabetes, it went up to like $150. Made a lot of money off of it. I didn't sell at $150, but I ended up selling at like maybe $90 or somewhere in there. But it's just a matter of being patient, and hopefully if you look at the company's YouTube page and you just look at some things and the numbers, I think you'll be confident that it could definitely hit that $100 after like 5 years or so. But it's also one of those things, I look at another company might come in and buy them out. And that'll be a good thing too, because if it's at $1 now, let's say a company came in and this would be a perfect time to be bought out, and they bought them out for $5 a share. I mean, you just quadrupled your money. So yes, we rich. Jose says, sometimes it could be false rumors that can make the stock go low or high. Definitely. You got your Robinhood ready. I'll be ready next week to invest. Okay, Jose. Yeah. I'm gonna get better at this, man. I'm so used to doing shit on my own time. And you know what I mean? It's like, if I don't feel like it, I won't do it. So I'm gonna try to get better at being consistent with this stuff, this money stuff, because I do like talking about it, but I want to be consistent and start from the beginning until, everybody knows how to option trade and do all that stuff. So, but right now, just bear with me because I'm still kind of in retirement mode, and I'm in that mode where I ain't even really got to do nothing today. If I don't want to, I could just lay in bed or whatever. And sometimes I just don't feel like doing stuff. So y'all got to bear with me on this. What was I talking about? I was talking about the bid and the ask. I explained that. And there was one other thing before we get out of here I wanted to cover today. Where was that? Let me find it. Ask bid, got that. Capital gains. It was the dividend. All right, let me get the dividend in here. Hold tight, y'all. Working on this brand ad overlay. Dividend. All right, we're gonna go over a dividend because one of the stocks we own is a dividend stock. So show dividend. Some companies pay out a portion of their income to shareholders, which is called a dividend. Depending on the company, dividends may be a one-time payment, may be sent periodically, i.e. every month, quarter, half a year, or may not be paid at all. All right. So hide, let me find the dividend stock that we own. Let me get in the portfolio. So if you look on the right side, we have Apple, we have QYLD. We have Target down there. We'll go with Target. Target pays a dividend. So what that means is, let me get out of here. Remove from stream. I got to get this right. So Target pays a dividend, which means if you own the stock, they're going to pay you just for owning the stock. So we're going to use, I think they pay out 2.3% or whatever yearly. We're going to use another example. We're going to use QYLD. Hold on, let me show portfolio. We're going to use QYLD. We have QYLD in our portfolio. We have Apple, QYLD, Sins, QQQ, and Target. QYLD pays a dividend. And the reason I added that to the portfolio is because it pays a dividend. And it pays over a 10% dividend. And the good thing about QYLD, it pays its dividend out each month. So for instance, let's say I got $100,000. No, let's say $10,000 into QYLD. I got $10,000 in a QYLD. Right now it's paying 12% guaranteed per year. 12% off that 10 grand. So it's going to give you $1,200 each year from owning this stock. But what QYLD does, they pay it out every month. So now you get $100 each month. And the thing I like about that is, like I have my son set up in this and 3 other monthly dividend paying stocks. Regardless of the stock price up or down, you're getting that same dividend, that $100 each month, regardless, as long as you keep that same amount of shares or that $10,000 invested in it. And what I did with my son, he has enough to pay his bills. Each month, he gets a certain amount of money from dividends that pays his bills. And, you know, I love that passive income where you don't really have to, not saying you don't have to do anything for it, but once you have the money, you don't have to do anything. Your money's making money. It's guaranteed money each month. Now you pay your taxes and all that, depending on how you have it set up and what type of dividend stocks they are. But again, we don't want to get into that deep into it, but it's guaranteed each month. The only thing about people with the dividend stocks, you want to be long-term with dividend stocks, because here's what happens. If they're paying out $1,200 each year to all these people, let's just say 12%, because everybody's not going to have $10,000 into it. They're paying out 12% each year to everybody who owns a stock. That's going to mean that's an expense to the company. So anytime, income to expense, it's going to make the company a little less valuable because they're putting out this money to their shareholders. Now, hopefully, when you look at the numbers, it's not killing them putting out these dividends. Normally, companies will pay dividends because the stock price is not moving. So they need to do something to get you to invest in their company. So let's pay them a dividend and they'll invest in our company. So that's why these companies, you see the bigger companies, which their stock price has pretty much kind of stagnated or just kind of been sitting, like McDonald's and even Starbucks. The growth is not there anymore. They'll pay you a dividend in order to invest in their company, because why else would you? If a stock is sitting at 100 and it doesn't move in the whole year, it just sits at 100, why would you put your money into that stock? So now they say, oh, well, we're going to pay you money for owning our stock. So that's how the dividend works. And the only problem with a dividend is if you're not long-term. So let's say you have a dividend stock and it's $100 and you're getting your $1,200 a year. I'm saying the price of the stock is $100. Now, here's how you can lose on that. If you decide to sell that stock after a year and the price of the stock went down to $90, so now you're at $9,000. That's if you sell though. Now you're at $9,000. So the $1,200 you made, $1,000 of that just got wiped out because you sold at a lesser price. Hopefully you guys can understand that. That's why with dividend stocks, you want to hold long term, because you want to just keep making money off that dividend. Now, if you've held it for 5 years and the stock is still at the same price and you decide to sell, you're fine, because you just made, $6,000 off the dividends and you didn't lose on the price of the stock. Now, what will be bad is you made the $6,000 on the dividends after 5 years, but the stock price is down to 40 and you sold, and now you just lost the $6,000 you made by selling. And that's why you want to pick the right type of dividend companies that are giving out dividends, like Exxon, companies that are going to be around. Most of your gas companies, your oil companies, they pay dividends. Real estate, they pay dividends. But you could find some good ones that they're going to be around for a while. And I know, like my mom's generation, what they do is once they retire, they'll put their money into something like Exxon or Mobil or something like that, that's been paying dividends for the last 50 years, like 7%, where you're going to guarantee get that 7% each year. You know what I mean? It's kind of a safe bet, especially if you're retired, because you don't want to take the risk on maybe some higher paying dividend stocks, but the stock price may go down or they may cut their dividends. You want a stable company as you get older and into retirement. I feel like I went off on a tangent on other shit, but hopefully we covered the dividends. But you won't do that if you know what the hell is going on with dividends, my friend. I'm missing something. What did I miss, y'all? Retirement mode. What's the hard? Be uncommon among common people, Derek. Let me catch up on your guys' stuff. Cyber chaos is in here. Retirement mode. What stay hard? Be uncommon among common people, Derek. Don't understand that. Dodger fan says you have to go by the number of shares on a dividend per share. Yep. Not the amount on the whole investment amount. In reality, it's the same, but it goes by shares. I mean, it's the same thing. We're talking the same thing. Shares, investment. The more money you put in, the more shares you're going to have. So, I mean, we're basically talking about the same thing, to be honest. I'm just trying to make it real simple for everybody. Dodger fan says, but you won't do that if you know what the hell is going on with dividends, my friend. I don't know who you're addressing on that, Dodger fan. If you want to be a little bit clearer on that, maybe I could respond to that. Mahu says, I invest most of my money in a Roth IRA. That's long term, right, Mahu? Obviously, for the tax benefits, I would hope that's a long term account for you, Mahu. Because most of my majority of money is in my Roth IRA, yeah, long term, and like you can get taxed heavily on these dividend paying stocks, but if they're in like a Roth or tax protected type of account, tax shelter, whatever you're going to call it, I think that's definitely the best way to go. As far as these dividends goes, selling at a stupid point on dividends. Yeah, on dividends, I would think anybody who's buying dividend stocks, I would think they would be long term in them. Because there's one thing about dividend stocks too. Once they pay out the dividend, I don't want to confuse everybody, but there's an ex-dividend date, and it's different dates. But once they declare that dividend is being paid out, that stock price goes down by the exact amount of the dividend being paid out. So, and they do that to, especially on the monthly dividends, to stop people from getting in and out of the dividend. Because now if you get in and out and you sell right away, you just lost the dividend amount you were going to get, you just lost on the capital gains. So you end up breaking even. So yeah, but like I said, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself with you guys on these dividends. But mainly, I put the majority, if it's a large amount, it would be in my Roth account. Anyway, any questions? Because I'm gonna leave it at that. Take some questions. Like again, you guys, I'm just going from my experience. I'm not like an investment guru and all that other shit. I'm just going from my personal experience since I started doing stocks in 2018. Dodger fan, so grab the dividend and buy more, my friend. You mean buy more shares, right? It just depends on how you're building your portfolio. Like my dividends in my big account, I don't reinvest my dividends. What I do is I take the dividend and I use it. Sometimes I'll buy more shares of the same stock, or sometimes I'll buy another dividend stock with the dividends that I got. But it just depends on how you're building your portfolio and what you're comfortable with. Definitely. So if there's not any questions, but I'm going to take this weekend to get organized, you guys, and just have a topic that I feel comfortable about talking about. And you said they go down, so why buy more? Let me see what Dodger fans getting at. You said they go down, so why buy more? Yeah, they do go down. Did you not know that? If you know what the ex-dividend date is and all that, if you ever look at the day they actually declare that the dividend is going to be paid out, the stock price on that dividend stock, it goes down the exact same amount that they're paying out. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, eventually it goes back up. They got charts that show you how long it takes to recover. But they do that, especially on the monthly dividend stock, so people can't just get in one day and get out the next day, because you could just buy it right before the X date And I don't want to confuse everybody else what these X dates are and what that means. But you can buy it right before the payout date and then sell it the next day. So it kind of like the company loses big time on that. They're paying out a dividend to someone who only owned the stock for a day. So they're trying to make you hold on to the stock longer by doing that, especially on the ones that pay out monthly. But like I said, I don't want to confuse everyone else that's kind of like, man, what the hell are you talking about? I just don't want to do that. Because I didn't know that at first. I was like, damn, why is this stock down 2% today? But on one app, it actually says it's up 1%. It's because they're not reflecting what the company is taking out. It could get confusing, but I could, if I could actually show charts on here and all that, I could make it real simple. If I could actually show you the numbers on each dividend, how it dips on that X date. But yeah, anyway, we'll get into that, I'm sure, down the line. Right now, we're going to keep it real simple. So if there aren't any more questions or any more statements, again, like I said, I am not a guru. I'm just sharing my experience from what I've done and just sharing it, basically. You guys could, if you could take something from it, take it. If not, you know, there's a million people that talk about stocks and this and that and all that good stuff and try to get you to subscribe to their channel and all that. But it's like, I don't know. I figure if you were that good at picking stocks and doing this and doing that, you wouldn't really need people to subscribe to your channel and do all that stuff. You would just sit back and do your thing. You're not going to be soliciting for people to do this and that. Stocks it's not hard. You're gonna do as good as the market's gonna dictate, unless you know how to do options and all that other stuff. You can you know, you can make money when the market's down, make money when the market's up, all kind of ways. There's always a way to make money in the market. They have made it that way, but timing it is tough unless you got some insider information. But there's always a way to make money in the market. And I'll show you guys, there are some ETFs that actually, if you think the market is going to go down, you can buy these ETFs that you will make money off these. If the market goes down, you can bet on the market going down. Now it would have been a great time for me to put like 100 grand into some of these stocks at the beginning of the year, because the market seemed like once they hit the new year, everything just went down. But I can't time the market. I don't know. You know what I mean? So, but I'll show you guys some of these later on. Like if the market has gone so high, you might be thinking in your head, man, it can't get any higher than this. It's got to take a dip. It's got to level off, or you know what I mean? Then you start buying these stocks that will make you money when the market's going down. Or what you can do is, what I used to do is, when I wasn't sure if the market, let's say I bought the Dow Jones Industrial Average and I had 10 grand in that. And let's say I'm up big time. I'm up 50%. So I'm up 5 grand on it. A lot of times I'll take that 5 grand and bet against the Dow Jones Industrial, but I still have my other money still in it. So basically, I'm going to break even. I'm going to stay at broke even. But there's another trick I do. If either one of them goes down a certain percentage, it automatically sells and the other one will keep moving. And that's I don't want to get too deep into that, but it kind of worked out. It worked out for a minute, because the worst I could do was break even, because one's going up, one's going down, and I'm breaking even. It's kind of like, let's say you have a bet on a game, you bet on the Celtics, and you can't cancel that bet, and you think the Celtics are going to lose now, so you go in and bet on the Heat. It's kind of doing that. You know what I mean? So there's ways. It's crazy how the market is made up. It's always someone in there figuring out a way to make money. Period. The stock market is just a way to make money. And there's always someone trying to figure out a different way to make money. And I don't want to compare to a casino putting a new machine in to make money, because I don't look at the stock market as gambling. But there's always like, oh, what happens if the market goes down? Well, let's develop this to make money. Let's put this out. If the market goes down, you could bet on the market going down and you make money. But that's how the housing, before I get too deep in this, that's damn near how the housing market crashed. It really is, because you had people, banks that could bet on the housing market crashing. Like, they made money off of it crashing. So what do you think is going to happen if they got a bunch of money betting? They're going to probably help it to crash. So anyway, like I said, I could talk about this stuff all day. But anyway, yeah, it's 9 o'clock. I got to get out of here, because Lindsay and them are going to be on tonight from Resorts World. So let me get off of here, and I got to get her some stuff ready. And yeah, a lot of people buy gold and silver during a recession. Dodger fan. Like I said, I'm not an expert, so I'm glad you guys input what you guys could input. But I guarantee you, next week I'll be better organized, and I'm going to learn more about this program and how to input this video and stuff like that, so we can kind of really start. It'd be like kind of like a class, but it'd just be my own personal teachings and just from what I know. And hopefully, you know, as we go, I'll learn more myself, and I'm sure people will input stuff, and, you know, maybe I'll research it, and, you know, we'll all kind of learn together. Because like I said, if I was an expert, you know, shit, I would be at least 40 million in right now if I was an expert, and I'm not an expert. So yeah, but I don't think there really are any experts. I just think people that have insider information are the ones that make the big money, personally. And they're not any smarter than anybody else. They just happen to have that information that they need to know. You know, so like the guy, Bill Ackman, I forget his name. I think it's Ackman, but he knew what was going to happen if the coronavirus came over here. He already knew what would happen to the economy. Like, he had inside information from government officials that we would have to shut down. We would do this, we would do that. He knew that ahead of time. And he betted that the market would go down. And like I said, I think he took 5 million and made 2 billion off the 5 million by betting the stock market would go down, because he already had that information before anybody else. So yeah, I'm gonna find that article, and I'm sure some of you guys may have heard of it, but I'll definitely share that with you guys. And if any of you guys have some insider information, you know, share it with us. Let's share. But anyway, all right, y'all don't forget to make sure you hit the like, all that good stuff. Lindsay and Sunshine will be on probably within an hour, I think she said. I just got to get her a thumbnail, and I think you guys will probably enjoy their live tonight, Lindsay, and especially with Sunshine. I don't know if y'all remember last time they were at Resorts World, but me and Nurse Viv was with them too. They end up racing. They end up having a race in the casino. It was hilarious. That was a good night though. But yeah, anyway, Hopefully I'll see some of y'all in the live tonight. I will definitely be in there peeping it out, and see y'all next time. Hopefully y'all got something out of this, but yeah, and we'll keep those updates on the portfolio coming. We're in a positive now, so which is good, and that's because the market was good this week, and we're pretty much in safe stocks, except Sands is only pretty much stock that's kind of can be on a roller coaster ride. So, Shart, what up? Anyway, I'm out of here, y'all. Don't forget to check out Lindsay and Sunshine and Redub tonight. Yeah, and I'll see y'all next time.